Melissa Joan Hart prioritizes faith while raising teen sons, teaching them not to be spoiled. Her Christian faith influences how Melissa Joan Hart, her family give back. Melissa Joan Hart doesn't need witchcraft to raise her family right. A far cry from her time as Sabrina the Teenage Witch on television, Hart says her priority is showing her sons, Mason, Braden and Tucker, who she shares with husband of 20 years, Mark Wilkerson, how to not be spoiled. Of course, when you have children, you want to give them everything, she told SSN 24 News Digital. For lack of a better word, you want to spoil them. Like you want them to have every day be Disneyland, right? It's hard to make sure you're teaching them how to grow up with the right amount of struggles. There are so many worries and things that, of course, are plaguing our world right now. But I just think if you show them love, even if you don't have all the things, right? If you just show your kids love, I've come to this conclusion, it starts with that. If you teach your kids love, you show them that they are loved and supported, they will share that with the rest of the world. And that's all we need right now. Hart, who is an ambassador for the Christian relief program called World Vision and recently visited Zambia with her husband and sons, is instilling the importance of giving into her children. I think a lot of it comes from just reminding them of their circumstances and showing them the rest of the world, and the way other people live. Whether it's next door or it's across the globe. We've been really fortunate to work with World Vision for a few years now and show them different, very far away parts of the world and how people live very differently, from what they eat, to how they go to school, to how they sleep, she says of exposing her sons to different life circumstances. Tomorrow, though, my boys are going to the nearby food bank to go pack boxes for Middle Tennessee, the Nashville resident explained. Just little things like that, a few hours here and there and just telling them, it's not the end of the world. If you take a few hours out of your day to help out and to go out and see people in all different circumstances, whether it's, you're walking around and you see a homeless person or you're talking to someone on the street. Down here in Tennessee, we have a newspaper that they sell on the side of the road, and it's $2. And so I always keep rolls of $2 in my car. If the person's on the passenger side, I'll have my son roll down the window and hand it to them and say, "God bless you," she said. Wherever we can, helping out and just teaching them not to be spoiled is very tricky. It is very tricky. But it is, something we strive for every day, she said of parenting her sons. Her faith also has a direct influence in how she's raising them. There is a lot of outreach through churches and they learn a lot there as well. But, a big part of it is just letting people know they're loved. And I think our faith is a big part of that, she said. We're Christian. And so we are shown love through Jesus, and then we share that love. In Zambia, Hart and her family visited 3 separate families who were in different stages of receiving humanitarian aid from World Vision. Hart sponsors a family of 3 girls, who she calls the family's sponsor sisters, who are of similar ages to her sons. We first started with a family that was really struggling. Had not been in the program but a few days. So, they had not received any of the benefits. They did not have clean water nearby. They did not have access to food, she said of one family in Zambia. There was a lot to learn there and a lot to see to go collect the water for them and then have it be really, really dirty. My kids were really aware of how dirty their water was. They didn't have shoes. They barely had clothes that weren't torn. And then to go to see our girls that we sponsored there for the last 4 years and to see how they were that way, they had those same struggles. Now they have a well nearby. They had chickens, and they had a thriving farm because they were taught by World Vision how to farm, not just like given food, but how to farm. They teach them to be sustainable and World Vision did this amazing thing. And we could really see this just how sustainable it was because the 3rd day we went to see a family who was basically, the wealthiest in the area. They have cattle. Their kids go to school and thrive in school. They have a great school, they have clean clothes, they have fresh water. They have all the food they could need, and then they sell it, the rest of it. So, to see these 3 different families in 3 different phases of the program. World Vision just does such an amazing job of teaching people how to take care of themselves, how to better their lives.